I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. This is episode 2 of Car Review Court, where I'm going to defend the 2022 QX60 Autograph to the death.
And I'm going to defend the Genesis GV80 Prestige to the death.
These are both cheater 3-rows. This QX60 is brand new.
And the Genesis has been out for a couple years now, but it has earned many accolades.
And they're both not North American.
Yes, both west of the Pacific.
We're not talking about no Traverses in this episode. So I'd like to start off with the fact that mine is called the Autograph, and I have Autograph embossed into my seats. Do you have Prestige in the GV80?
Unfortunately, I do not. There's nothing in here that actually says Prestige. However, Autograph sounds a lot like a copyright claim with Range Rover autobiography.
No comment. I'd like to see you prove that in court. But for now, Autograph is awesome. And these seats, these are the space seats, the zero gravity comfort. I am so comfortable in them. I do have quilting, and unlike the GV80, which I sat in, just to confirm my suspicions about this case, those GV80 seats are not comfortable against my spine. There's like a little ridge in the center. Hate them.
Objection, motion to overrule. These seats are so comfortable, so luxurious for my body type, so your subjective nature should be discredited fully.
Overruled by me. I would like the jury in the comments below to comment if you sat in a GV80 or any Genesis with the quilted seats. Are they comfortable or not? Or do you get that pressure point in the center of your spine?
And speaking about my clients' lovely seats, they look very good. The quilting is high quality, and they have this ergo motion function, which will actually reduce stress and make you very comfortable on long drives. And you have this thing called a massage, apparently. However, if a jury decided that that was called a massage, I think that would be, again, fully discredited.
I'm going to turn on my massage with this hard button, and it's just lovely pushing into my back. It is a massage. That's what it says on the spec sheet. You can't deny that this car was sold with a massage feature.
I can fully deny that because it's just a pressure point that's just stabbing into the middle of your spine.
It is a massage feature that it's sold with.
Continuing with the theme of seats, I have a 7-seater in here, so I have one more seat than you have.
Do you have captain's chairs in the middle row?
I don't need those. I need more people in here.
I think a little bit more luxury with these captain's chairs is nicer, and if you put a child seat on there, you can click a button to have it all angle forward with the base, so you wouldn't need to remove the base to get to the back seats. There's also a center console that's removable, so you can use that to get around to the back seats as well.
I did sit in the third row of your QX60, and while it was quite uncomfortable, I did hit my feet on some plastics and stuff like that. I then sat in the third row of my vehicle, the GV80, and if I craned my neck in a very comfortable fashion, I had slightly less room.
Let's just say the third row is for children only, and leave it at that.
So let's get to the focus of the second row, where I have automatic peasant blockers and you just have these peasanty manual peasant blockers.
I think that is a fair thing to have in this Infiniti, considering the price difference, which we'll get to later. But can you explain with this price difference how I have more room in the trunk with all the seats up in the Infiniti for carry-ons than you do in the Genesis?
Yuri, that just adds to the sporty shape of my vehicle and the sportiness, which I'm going to show you with flooring it right now. Ooh, that's fast.
So it has come to my attention that you brought your client's cheater engine, the larger engine, where you do have a smaller engine. I guess you wanted the top trim of both for this car court review.
Which brings me to the next point, horsepower and torque.
Horsepower and torque!
This GV80 has 375 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque from a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6. And your piddly QX60 in the top trim with the best engine you can get has 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque from a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6.
And for the jury, I would like to bring you to Exhibit A, flooring at 3, 2, 1, go!
He cheated, and catching up, and see you later, Yuri. Yeah, the extra 100 horsepower definitely makes a really big difference. There is a lower trim of this vehicle with actually still more horsepower and an even better match price as well, though.
But do you know what's amazing about my client's Infiniti? No CVT, automatic transmission.
While that would normally be a point, you do have a 9-speed, I do have an 8-speed. Let's floor it in 3, 2, 1. And that's why that's not a point, because that is such a laggy transmission.
I mean, it's better than a CVT though.
Yeah, anything's better than a CVT.
Did you know that according to the press material, this Infiniti QX60, their most revolutionary product, has had over 1.5 million man hours put into it?
I didn't, but thank you for bringing that to my attention, which is a great useless fact for this.
I don't know if that helps my case or hurts my case, but that is a fact about the case.
So let's get to some extremely subjective things about the exterior, which may end up with the jury in the comments. Let us know what you think, if you agree with us. But I think the GV80 is by far better looking. Like, not even in the same league.
Completely disagree. From the front end, this newly redesigned QX60 looks so much better. This gigantic grille makes it look so aggressive. The daytime running lights look wonderful, and this dark burgundy paint, it's so nice. It's such a great metallic-y color. And I've got two-tone, like on my Bach. I don't think that GV80 has two-tone. Nope, that's just one color with a bunch of chrome.
There is no two-tone for the GV80. It's not even offered. It doesn't need to be offered because I heard unsubstantiated rumors that the Bentley Bentayga was actually modeled after this car, and even the Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
I did see a video that it said budget Bentley or something like that, and it showed a GV80, so that is kind of cool for you.
And I'm glad you brought that video up as evidence, because I believe in that video you said this has the best headlights of the year, maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a very 2021 thing to say, but we are unfortunately in 2022, and when you throw a front license plate on two of these cars, the front license plate is going to look a lot better on this Infiniti than it will smack dab in the middle of that Genesis.
But thankfully, both of these don't have them, so shout out to the manufacturers for cheating their way into manufacturer plates for both of these.
Loopholes, woo-woo! The court allows it.
Technicalities are the best types of things to get off on.
And then talking about the side of the cars, the body lines, the Infiniti does have plastic cladding around the wheels, which is great, because if you do some off-roading, you don't want to ruin your paint, and that's why plastic cladding is the best. Everybody loves plastic cladding on SUVs. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it.
Objection, every luxury car in the history of luxury cars has not had plastic cladding, so this GV80 is a true icon of luxury with no plastic cladding.
How about the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo?
That's an electric car, it doesn't count.
Okay, how about wheels? I'm going to fully admit, I'm gonna throw my client in the ditch. The Genesis has nicer wheels, but this Infiniti is equipped with the TheStraightPipes recommended Continental tire.
Yes, you would actually be correct. That would be the Ice Contact Extremes or the Extreme Contact DWS 06. However, getting back to those wheels, I have 22s. They are beautiful. 22 is a bigger number than 20, which you have. By default, 22s win.
But that goes along with the increased price of the GV80, and if you don't want to wait till the end of the video to find out what the prices are, you can go to tsb.truecar.com.
And that's where you'll find discounted price offers of both of these, but I noticed that the Infiniti is marked up a little bit more than the Genesis is, even though yours actually costs significantly less than mine.
There are a lot more Infinitis on tsb.truecar.com than there are GV80s. So now to the taillights. I'll admit, GV80's got very nice taillights, but there's nothing wrong with these Infiniti taillights.
I'm going to give them a tie as well.
And then moving on to the exhaust tips, I can see that you have exhaust tips that don't touch. According to the TheStraightPipes, that is a fail, and I'm afraid you're gonna have to lose this round because of that.
Well, Yuri, as I was gathering evidence against your client this morning, because I was testing it out, I noticed that there was actually smoke being emitted from not anywhere near your chrome finishers. I don't even know what those are. They're disgusting. The exhaust is a single tailpipe on the right side. Therefore, you are the ultimate loser of this one.
No comment.
So bringing us back to the inside, through the doors, I actually have soft closed doors, which is a luxury feature found in Mercedes, Maybachs, Rolls Royces, things like that. That's not even offered on yours.
Yeah, that is something that you have, but something that I have in this Infiniti, I have a powered lift gate, and I can click a trunk close button or a lock button so it locks when I walk away.
The fact that you have to call those features is utterly pathetic.
But you also have those two features, which is pretty cool.
Exactly.
Heated and cooled front seats, got them in the Infiniti.
So do I, and a heated steering wheel, as you do as well. However, I have a crazy feature where if I look over to my right, I can actually move the passenger seat very comfortably for my rear occupants.
Ah, That is cool.
Yeah, lots of features for this more money thing.
Do you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto?
Of course I do. However, they are not wireless, curiously.
Wow, that sounds like not a very cool thing. Wireless Apple CarPlay is actually one of my favorite features of all time, and I'm sad that you don't get to experience that in the Genesis.
And you know who else won't be able to experience that in the Infiniti? Android users. And both of these obviously have Sirius XM satellite radio. Yuri, I know how much you love rewinding. You can definitely rewind on my GV80. Can you rewind in your Infiniti QX60?
For some reason, I can't. And in a lot of other Infiniti Nissans, I can. So, to be brutally honest, under oath, a little bit disappointed about that in here.
That's lovely to hear from me. And with the theme of the infotainment, I have a great 360 camera. Yuri, tell me about your 360 camera in the greatest detail possible.
The 360 camera in the Infiniti may not spin around and have all those extra gimmicks that the GV80 does, but it does have a somewhat clear picture all the way around, and I can see my front right wheel. Not my front left, the front right.
Yuri, I chose my words carefully. I asked for detail. That's because you have no detail in your 360 camera.
I can see some details. But how about an air filtration system? Do you have one in the GV80? Because I have this little button that says clean, which will filter my air.
I don't have that, but what I do have is very good touch controls for my climate controls, separate from everything else, very easy to use. And you, Yuri, use your autograph of your finger on your gloss black plastic to adjust all your settings for me.
Well, lucky for me, my hands are so dry because it's winter, they're not going to leave any smudges. I do have a lot of capacitive touch buttons, but they do have a nice feedback for my climate control. Would my dry fingers have any issues adjusting the volume knob or your rotary dial to control the infotainment in the GV80?
I'm not sure about your dry fingers, but my dry fingers have, let's just say...
You're under oath, you have to tell the truth.
In not ideal circumstances, there may be an issue with the rotary knob and it's just not easy to use, but luckily for me, I have a backup feature where my touchscreen is actually a touchscreen.
My touchscreen is also a touchscreen, and I do have a volume knob, and you are stuck with that dry finger, not working volume roller, which does kind of suck, and I know that they fixed that poor system in the GV70, which had the better style of rotary controller. So you have an inferior system where I have the best possible Infiniti system.
Objection, bringing up a vehicle that is not relevant to this conversation. Different class of vehicle.
Comments, jury, let us know if that is sustained or denied, or if you're the judge or whatever.
Also, I have a bunch of different rotary knobs, which everyone knows the more rotary knobs you have, the more luxurious the car is. So I have several of them. Some of them light up. Sometimes it may be difficult to remember which one is which, but you know, I can't be the judge because sometimes I have a poor memory, but most people don't. So that's probably not a point against it.
Under oath, Lawyer Jacob, have you ever accidentally changed the gear of your car instead of changing your infotainment? Under oath.
Yes.
Okay, well, the shifter in the Infiniti is very nice. It is just a cool shaped kind of thingy that you slide forward and back. Not confusing at all.
So let's get to some drive modes because I have a lot of them. I would say definitely more than yours, and more is always better. I have Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom, and then I have Terrain. So if I push the button, I have Snow, Mud, and Sand.
And the Infiniti has Personal, Sport, Eco, and Auto. Sometimes simplest is the bestest.
Sometimes, except today isn't that day.
But then back to that rotary dial, this Infiniti actually does have a rotary dial as well, and it's easy to use with dry fingers. So I would just like to point that out to finish off that segment.
Your plasticky rotary dial, it shouldn't even be called a rotary dial. I have knurled diamonds, basically.
And then as for sound systems, without proper measuring devices, we can't be sure which one is better. However, the Infiniti has a Bose Performance Series, which must be better than a regular Bose. Do you have a Performance Series or an upgraded version of your system?
I've got a Lexicon, which, let's just say I have 21 speakers and you have 17 speakers, and in the theme of more is better, I win.
Damn. Well, I'd like to counter that with cup holders. Mine can fit a small cup and a medium cup just fine in the Infiniti. Do you have any trouble with a small cup in the Genesis?
I mean, some people may have a problem with it, but I personally, I have a problem with it. It's not very good.
Oh, that's not good. And then I guess we should probably check the visors.
Yeah, we should.
3, 2, 1.
Full pass.
Both
job.
pass. Okay. So now, Jacob, I would like you to put that GV80 into radar cruise lane keep and see if it'll hold you in your lanes. I'm going to push the button in my Infiniti, the blue one. And now I'm in cruise control following the lanes.
Genesis take the wheel. I am definitely winning right now because, Yuri, do me a favor and turn off your cruise control and try that again.
And with cruise control off, okay, maybe I went past the lane and vibrated. Did you not do that?
No, I didn't. I never even activated cruise. I only activated my lane keep assist, and it's been steering me perfectly fine on this country road.
Well, how about your highway driving assist on the highway? Has that been pretty good in the GV80? Has it had any issues?
One of the best systems that we've tested, and through multiple videos I can present as evidence. Yuri, you have also agreed with me on that.
I just think it's so weird to take your hands off the wheel for so long while doing radar cruise, lane keep on the highway. I like how the Infiniti always asks you to put your hands back on the wheel. It just keeps you more attentive to the road.
Yuri, I'm so much more relaxed because this entire time it has not prompted me once to put my hands back on the wheel.
Cool.
And my lane centering lane keep assist is perfectly visualized in my 3D gauge cluster. Yuri, tell me about your 2D 1990s gauge cluster.
I have a full digital gauge cluster. I think it's very impressive. I can change the modes. I would say there is one weird thing where you can't get the speedo to show up in the middle, which I do not like, but I do have a hard button to turn on my head-up display, which will show it's centered there.
Yuri, under oath, is 2D better than 3D?
When's the last time you wanted to go to a 3D movie instead of a 2D movie? Last time I checked, they stopped selling 3D TVs for a reason. 2D is life.
All right, Yuri, would you rather play Gran Turismo 7 or would you rather play Atari?
Well, Gran Turismo 7 is shown on a 2D TV, not a 3D TV. So, I mean, if it was VR, that would be pretty cool. Look, I'll admit, that is one of the most impressive gauge clusters I've ever seen in my life. But it's unnecessary, and there is an option to turn the 3D off.
I actually kind of don't like the 3D at all. It kind of bothers my eyes, and I've just turned it off if I own this car.
That was off the record. How about our interior materials? I have dark ash wood in the Infiniti and quilted fabric everywhere. It's all black. Everybody knows black interiors are the nicest and the classiest. And that colorful interiors are cheesy and cheap. Tacky.
While all of your points may be points, they are not valid points, so it kind of makes them completely irrelevant. This blue interior with tan is beautiful. One of the best interiors that I have seen. We have seen other interiors in the Mercedes EQS with white and blue, which you also presented as loving.
Request for sidebar?
Go for it.
Yo, that interior in the Genesis looks so good.
Oh, the quality of the materials, everything is top notch. This dark ash wood is better than your dark ash wood. This steering wheel is one of the best steering material feels ever.
Very cool, very cool. I guess it's up to the person buying the car to decide.
And I have another point, which may actually end up being a counterpoint for me. I'm currently averaging 13.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Bigger is always better. Yuri, what are you getting?
11.9 liters per 100 kilometers, and with all of the increased fuel pricing right now, that might be a selling feature for the Infiniti.
Damn it, it did end up being a counterpoint.
Being able to spend more money is a flex, and for rich people, that might be a good thing.
Thank you for my point.
And I guess we should probably finish off the car review court with some handling through Cliche Corner and maybe some suspension comfort.
Yeah, so these may actually end up being the most important parts of this car, so we've actually been saving it for last, at least for me. This is so comfortable to drive. It is so quiet in here. Going over bumps in this is 10 million times, that is an actual number, better than your car.
Let me get behind you for this bump.
And I'm gonna go over this bump first right now. Watch this.
You know, yours looked good, mine felt amazing, and I think even without adaptive suspension, this Infiniti is still very, very comfortable.
And this Genesis actually has road preview, so the adaptive damping sees the road, gets ready for it, braces for it, and gives me the most comfortable experience.
Let's settle this with a slow-mo across the train tracks.
Before we get to the train tracks, Yuri, I'm going to put it into sport mode. I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to downshift into your most optimal gear. So I'm going to go into second right now. And 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Not even close.
But there's still enough power. I'd say this is dad fast. Will get you through everything you need to do. You'll be able to merge on the highway just fine, pass a lot of people, but maybe not at the high speeds that we know from celebrities driving the GV80 around corners that it's capable of.
The amount of press that this vehicle got for being extremely safe from that golf player was just, Genesis could not have asked for a better spokesperson inadvertently.
It was definitely a weird situation, but it was really interesting to see how well the GV80 protected somebody in such a kind of crazy impact.
And something we haven't talked about yet, this engine sound. What a glorious sound. The sound of luxury, I would say.
And then if I downshift and floor it, unoffensive, nothing weird, just normal engine sound.
Train tracks, here we come in the most comfortable modes.
So that was very comfortable in the Infiniti. How was it in the Genesis?
I actually didn't even realize we went over the train tracks.
Jury and judges in the comments below, please decide from these slow motions, because I think we were pretty even there.
So let's launch into Cliche Corner. Gonna turn off my traction control. Yuri, I would like you to do the same. Mine is now off.
I did that through the gauge cluster, a little tricky. I'm going to brake boost it. Try to catch me, bud.
I'm gonna give you a big gap.
Oh, all right. That was okay after the initial lag.
This is still pulling so well, and I'm gonna smoke you, so I'm actually gonna stop right now.
And through the S's right before Cliche Corner. Very composed, nothing weird about the Infiniti so far.
The GV80 is just killing it here. This is so much better. I can already see it from the body control.
All right, stay back a bit. You're getting too close.
All that extra horsepower is really helping through Cliche Corner.
Okay, paddles so I can get in the right gear.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of plowing out with my all-wheel drive system.
Oh, this all-wheel drive is fantastic. It's rear biased and you can really feel it. Oh, dude, this is so much better than yours, even just visually.
Yeah, okay, this one plows out a bit. It's not the worst. It's definitely not nearly as sporty.
If you wanted the faster, better handling one, no question, it's the GV80.
Under oath, I would have to fully agree.
And just to be really sure, let's send it back again, but you try and keep up with me this time.
Dealio.
Oh, this Genesis rips so hard. Turning is great in these conditions.
Okay, the Infiniti is holding on. It's holding on. It's losing a bit of ground.
Yeah, I think I'm leaving you actually in the dust. I don't even, I barely see your headlights.
That's called salt dust for everyone who doesn't live in snowy climates where they sprinkle salt all over the roads.
Yeah, so I think we can safely say that the GV80 is the better handling and more powerful car, which obviously the more powerful car, but definitely the better handling one as well.
And now with all of that out of the way, I think it's time we get to the price and decide if that extra price is worth it or not. And then we'll take off our lawyer hats and tell you what we really think.
Do lawyers wear hats?
Our lawyer costumes? Our lawyer wigs?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
So let's start off with the more budget-conscious luxury car, if that's even a thing. That would be the QX60, sitting at $71,090.
Canadian.
And this GV80 Prestige is $86,000.
Did the price go up since we last reviewed it?
Yeah. And then the difference between these two is exactly $15,000.
Okay, so is that extra price worth it for all of the features you get in the GV80? And then what if you got the slower motor one?
If you got the slower one in the top trim with the 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder with still more power than that, it would be exactly $71,000, and that would 100% be the winner.
And there are lower trims of the Infiniti which could save you even more money compared to a smaller motor GV80.
You're right, there's actually one trim that I forgot to mention in this entire review, and the trim is called the Nissan Pathfinder.
Ooh, I don't like you bringing that up.
Your car is exactly the Nissan Pathfinder, whereas the Genesis does not have a Hyundai cousin or brother or sister that's exactly the same as this.
Okay, so which one would you take? The faster, more expensive GV80 for the extra money, or would you take this QX60 for less money? Should we take off our lawyer hats?
Lawyer hat is off. I'm actually going to give it to the GV80. I really, really like this car. That Infiniti surprised me for the amount of features it has. It's definitely a step up for Infiniti with the infotainment and all that stuff, the seats and everything. It looks really good. I still have to give it to the GV80.
I love the QX60 looks. I think I was surprised how much better I thought the front end of this looked than the GV80, because I love the Genesis looks, but the seat comfort just completely kills me in the Genesis. And because of that one thing, I don't think I could ever myself buy a Genesis and be happy with it.
So I guess we have a mistrial here because we can't agree. So let us know in the comments which one's better.
And to help all of you in the judge and jury in the comments decide which one you would pick, hit up tsp.truecar.com to see what's available locally in the United States.